and you're tuned into South Coast Radio. And today we have the pleasure of chatting with one of South Africa's most soulful voices, award nominated singer, songwriter, and theater entrepreneur, Petronel Baard. She's been making waves in the Afrikaans music and theater scene for over 2 decades and is now launching a breathtaking new collaboration called The Hovering. Petronel, welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. How are you doing?
Thank you, Ryan, and listeners. It's going well, and it's wonderful to have a visit with you this morning. Thank you for that love, production. I appreciate it.
Awesome. We're really glad to have you with us today. So, Petronel, about your roots and recognition, you've been part of South Africa's music landscape since winning the ATKV Crescendo competition back in 1999 with Hungerus
Yes.
Nakas. Looking back,
Yeah.
how did that how did that moment shape your career?
Ryan, it was a bit like Idols before Idols completely hit the world. In a sense, this singing competition then was one of the few in South Africa and widely recognized. So in that year, the Afrikaans singer Ines Benardi took this platform and shaped it so you have the chance to reach the radio and on television. There was a lovely program called Ageraas, which literally translates to noise, on SABC2, and your music video, and I'm that one winner of all the entries that I had the opportunity to make an album. So it was a lovely platform, which I proceeded to then to win, which I'm very grateful for, because it did shape a path for me and a platform, like I said, to work from.
Wow, that's
A
awesome.
lot of media attention. Yeah.
That's really awesome, Petronel. And so over the years, you've been described as the Langvro, a name that stuck early in your career. What's the story behind that nickname and how do you feel about it today?
I'm passionate about my native tongue, as we are many beautiful people in South Africa with great passion for our cultures and languages. I know people feel quite the same about isiXhosa and Zulu, and I feel that about Afrikaans. And Afrikaans is a poetic language. So I played with the name Lank Al, which translates to long ago, but it can also mean that you're tall, and that's all. And I'm a tall lady. So Rocco de Villiers, who produced the album for me, I wanted to work with him. He advised me to play with, when I said to him, what will I call it? Why don't I play with the length that I guess a long vrouw. I'm literally a tall woman. So the first album was the play on word lang al, which I put in two words, one, to give the double meaning. And then the first show was called Lang Vrou, tall woman.
Yeah.
And that became my nickname, literally, from the press and the media.
Wow.
And I'm happy about that.
Really
I own
great.
it.
That's really great. And so you've received incredible recognition, including the Beteltjie Award in 2020 and the Order van die Goue Ster in 2024. What do those honors mean to you personally and artistically?
It's a great, wonderful thing to give acknowledgement to artists over the years, because acknowledgement is what shapes your career. I work very hard to be an individual, a unique voice, to stay that. I do not try to adhere to certain rules or regulations of what is expected of an artist to make it commercially, while still creating enough income to make it of it. But it is quite the challenge, I can assure you. And then to have recognition on your path like that, it does help when I'm having interviews like this.
Yeah.
To sound grand out there. It's just good to acknowledge one another. I recently had a conversation with members of RTKV, which is what we call in Afrikaans a burgerregte organisatie, literally meaning an organisation that works with civilians' rights. It's
Okay.
not from the government, in other words.
Yeah.
And we had the conversation about Afrikaans and the inclusivity of Afrikaans, because there are many speakers in Afrikaans. It's not just if I can call it a white thing,
Yeah.
Please forgive me if it's offensive. I don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Yes, so, and one of the things that I said is that we must own one another. And the same message goes for South Africa. I mean, with so many diverse cultures, but all together we make up this beautiful country. And kind of music or that kind of food is not your favorite. It's still part of this beautiful culture of South Africa, and it's part of who we all are. And if we own it, if we acknowledge it as a part of our identity, it just enriches all of us. And it's just much more of a wonderful life experience, which is what I'm all about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Thank
talk. You're welcome. So let's talk about your brand new project, The Hovering. It's such a unique fusion of music, poetry, and visual art. How did this collaboration with writer and artist Louisa Punt Fauché come about?
She's a beautiful poet and academic. She's been writing under a pseudonym for many years, but since 2010 she published about 14 books, mostly poetry and art. When she and it all circles around her and her poetry, because when she sits in nature or she sees something beautiful, it inspires her to paint, and then that inspires a word image. It's a word image, an image that comes with a poem.
Yeah.
So about a year ago, I did a show called 'n Blom in elke vrou, which also translates to a flower in every woman, but it means there's a flower in all of us.
Yeah.
And she came to see the show in Prince Albert, now stays closer to me here in the Southern Cape in George. And yeah, we were introduced, and I was challenged to paint 10 poems. And it just, I don't know, some things just work together like milk, chocolates, It just because her words resonated with me, and the 10 poems flew out of my fingers like ink, So, in a sense, when I write music, I am formally trained, but I work on gehoor. I don't struggle now for the translation, but I work by ear. Mm-hmm. So I don't write the music out, I record it, and I hear it. So in a sense, I write poetry with my music as well. So it's
awesome.
That kind of collaboration. It's just amazing. It's really a privilege.
Awesome. And so The Hovering brings together live performance and art installation, and your new album all happened on the same night. What can audiences expect from this multi-sensory experience?
So the idea of The Hovering is that it was released, this album, on the 4th of July this year, Ryan. So the music is out there, all of it. You can stream it anywhere. Okay. We now released this new version, or the dance version of She Has Been Touched, to reach a wider audience. But on the 24th of October, we are launching the first live performance of the show. And also we pre-printed some of the music on little USB sticks, which is the new craze. And then with that, Louisa is launching her book, Breathing with the Earth. It is an art installation in the sense that we printed some of her words with the help of curator Renee Scribante on 3-meter big materials that will be hanging from the sides of the theatre with her words on it. There's a live streaming of video footage of her photos and artwork while we're singing and performing with a live band. We've got a flower installation, because the hovering, the whole idea behind it is to call people back to a sensory experience.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, we've seen the world become a very digital place.
True.
So this is literally calling you back to nature.
That's great. Now you've set Louisa's poems to music, creating what you describe as a soundscape that hovers between memory, meaning, and renewal. Could you share how you approached composing and interpreting her words through song?
So, like I told you, I work very intuitively. and it sits well with me. Her poetry, I understand it instinctively. So with every song, there was just the music that flew from my fingers onto the piano. It was there in my ears. I could hear. It didn't happen, and there's the song. You've got to work with it. But with every song, a very clear indication of where I was going, and I stayed true to the form mostly of a poem when I tried to arrange it.
Yeah.
Of course, you do identify a bit that's the chorus or a bit that becomes the bridge, but it's still very free. It's still very free, and what I adapted with that. But all in all, I can say it really is it's one of those projects that it just gets back to the meaning behind it all. Is that meaning it's for us to hover, to sit in now, not to choose to go back in the past or to feel the future, to concentrate on enjoying every moment. If you understand what I mean.
Yes, that's really awesome, Petronel. And now tell us more about the team behind the music, your collaboration with Franco Engelbrecht, Johan Engelbrecht, and Lelaine van der Merwe, and what it's like bringing this body of work to life together.
So the recording itself, Ryan, was with Peter van Rooyen, who's a producer who lives close to me. We worked mostly on our own, so it was me on piano and vocals and some strings and studio recording. But with the band, we bring it to life because those musicians described now is part of my Britain, a Bloom, and they were piano and percussion and guitar. They're wonderful. When we've got 5 years together already that we've done productions and worked together. Once a band people becomes an orchestra like that, where you experienced live performances and you've experienced numerous rehearsals, you become a unit. So it was very easy to just take the music to them and let them play it. I'm very excited for the live version of the album, and which, like I said, we're launching next Friday. And we hope to bring this across the country to arts festivals and where people can access it from all over.
Okay, so now... Awesome. And now, so alongside the hovering, you've also released the song She Has Been Touched. 10 of Louisa's poems turned into 10 incredible songs, one of which has been, you're welcome, one of which has been remixed as a dance track. What inspired you to reimagine one of these songs for radio play?
It's actually funny. This dance mix was version of the song because Peter said to me, he just gets very excited with of this thing, and he says to me, let's get out from, I'm very kind of voice and acoustic, and that's my sound, but he said, how about this kind of beat with you, and there comes this beat in the chorus part that we identified, and I loved it. But then we did want to bring a version out first that was more true to the rest of the album, which is more acoustic as well, which is also beautiful. So on the album there are 2 versions. It's the version that we as officially She Has Been Touched, and we added the 11th track as the remix.
Awesome.
It's a version. Well, actually, just more people will understand quicker. So that's what.
Yeah. That's really great. That's really great stuff, Petronel. And so you co-produced the album with Peter van Rooyen, who also handled much of the instrumentation. Can you tell us a bit about that creative partnership and the energy you bring to the studio together?
So I had this conversation about quality of recordings nowadays, Ryan. A few years ago, when you worked with studio sounds, it sounded like a tin. You would use strings and it didn't sound good. But the technology has really become such quality that most even quality sound.
Yeah.
The stuff you work with actually are original that were recorded and can be manipulated into whatever you're doing. So that's how we could get him to do different kinds of strings and things like that. I also played strings on the album, and that was it was a fun. We worked very hard to always work with and in the vocals and start building it. So Peter is a producer. It's a real deal. When he hears something, he hears a sounds. No, I had to tone him down because for this project specifically, I was very specific of what I wanted. Usually I would give it, use it, everything, and would just yes or no at the end, but we worked side by side on most of these songs. So I'm very proud of that. Also have things for guidance, to get what it is.
That's really great stuff, Petronel. And now with so much of your work from A Blom and Elkefro to The Hovering explores the themes of womanhood, transformation, and resilience. What keeps drawing you back to those ideas in your art?
I think it's because it is what is needed for us to survive, and that the origin of it all is our mothers and of course others. I come from a female perspective, so I will always describe it from that perspective. But it's not just, I don't just focus on female energy. I do feel every part of life is important. Life is important. People, everybody that's you know, everything around us breathing is what is life. And this is also what the project gets back to. So yes, the themes sort of fall into place, like yes, new and life circles around us, we around life. This is what we get back to time after time, that we have to be resilient, our feet, and what. Yeah. That's not always easy. Music and songs and art, all that beautiful things, those beautiful things are fully there to help to cope with that.
Awesome. And so if you could describe The Hovering in one feeling or image, what would it be?
I would say breathing, because Louisa's breathing with earth says it all. It's the book that we also watching down, well, show me. Breathing earth. No, we are not in nature, we are nature. So it all comes that is breath. I would describe it like that.
That's really awesome stuff, Petronel. And once again, it's been such a pleasure having you with us today. Congratulations on The Hovering and the She Has Been Touched project. It's a true celebration of music, poetry, and South African creativity. Before we wrap up, where can listeners find your music and follow your upcoming performances?
Thank you so much, Ryan, for this very thoughtful interview, firstly. And it really is wonderful to chat with you and the listeners. And, you know, we could make all this beauty, but it could just go lost without radios and programs like yours. Thank you for the beat that moves.
You're most welcome.
I do have a website, petronelbaard.com. So Baard, you spell it like in Afrikaans, the one that you shave, beard in Afrikaans, and Petronel is all one letter. So petronelbaard.com. If you open my website, there comes up, it immediately takes you to my WhatsApp group if you want to add yourself to that. So we around the country, or what shows of song coming out, even live up streaming. And then, of course, all my social media links are there on Facebook, YouTube, at Petronel Baard, Instagram, Petronel Baard Music. So, you know, today we're just a Google search away.
True, that's correct. And so, really awesome having you with us once again, Petronel. And to the listeners, make sure to catch The Hovering at the Market Community Theatre in George on 24th of October. Yes, and also don't forget to stream She Has Been Touched wherever you get your music from. Also, we will be playing the song right about now live on South Coast Radio. It's going to be She Has Been Touched, the dance mix, featuring none other than Petronel Baard. So you guys stay tuned for that coming up right now.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.